In March 2024, a database engineer ran a routine benchmark and noticed something almost too small to care about. His SSH logins were half a second slower than they should be. That half second turned out to be the most sophisticated backdoor in open source history, 3 years in the making and weeks away from reaching nearly every server on Earth. To understand how it got that far, you don't start with code. You start with one exhausted volunteer. Utils is a compression library. You've never thought about it, but it sits inside almost every Linux system, and Linux runs most of the internet. For years, it was maintained by one man, Lasse Collin, unpaid, alone, and openly burned out. In 2021, a helpful stranger appeared, the name Jia Tan. Patch after patch, always polite, always competent. Then other accounts began pressuring Collin. "You're too slow. The project deserves a new maintainer." Worn down, he handed Jia Tan the keys. Those pressure accounts were almost certainly fake. A coordinated social engineering campaign, 3 years of patience aimed at one tired man. In early 2024, Jia Tan shipped the payload. Versions 5.6.0 and 5.6.1 of XZ contained a backdoor unlike anything seen before. It wasn't in the source code, as reviewers would have caught that. It hid inside binary test files, assembled itself only during the build, and hooked into SSH, the front door of virtually every server. Anyone holding the attacker's private key could log into an infected machine as root, a master key to the internet. It slipped into the testing versions of Debian, Fedora, and OpenSUSE, and started counting down the weeks until the next stable releases carried it everywhere. Then came the half-second. Andres Freund, a Microsoft engineer who works on the Postgres database, was running benchmarks and noticed SSH logins burning more processor time than they should. Most people would have shrugged. He didn't. He profiled it, traced the extra 500 milliseconds into the XZ library, and found code that had no business being there. On March 29, 2024, he posted his findings, and the security world detonated. Severity score, 10 out of 10. The maximum. Jia Tan vanished overnight. Most investigators believe it was a state intelligence operation. The internet was saved by one engineer's refusal to ignore a rounding error. 3 things worth keeping. First, modern software runs on unpaid volunteers, and the attackers know it. This attack targeted a person, not a program. Second, the backdoor passed every automated scan because it hid in the build system, the one place nobody reads. Third, it was caught by curiosity, not by a security product, not by an audit, by someone who saw half a second go missing and pulled the thread. What's the smallest anomaly you've ever pulled the thread on? Tell us in the comments. And if you want more stories about how close the internet comes to breaking, subscribe. There's a new one every week.